On her birthday, an 8-year-old girl did something no one expected. Instead of eating her cake, she gave it away to someone sitting alone. But what happened next turned her small act into a viral story that touched thousands of hearts. It was a warm Saturday afternoon in a small neighborhood park, where families often gathered during weekends. The air was filled with the sound of laughter, children playing, and music coming from a nearby ice cream cart. Colorful balloons floated above a picnic table under a big tree. And in the center of it all was a little girl named Aliyah. Today was a very special day for her. It was her birthday. Aliyah had been excited about this day for weeks. She had told her friends about the party, chosen her favorite dress, and even helped her mother pick the decorations. But the thing she was most excited about was the cake. It was a beautiful cake. Chocolate on the inside, with soft cream frosting and colorful sprinkles on top. And right in the center, written in bright icing, "Happy birthday, Aliyah." Her friends had gathered around the table. Some of them were holding balloons. Others were waiting patiently for the cake to be cut. Parents stood nearby chatting and smiling, while watching the children enjoy themselves. The moment everyone had been waiting for was about to happen. Aliyah's mother gently placed the cake in front of her. "Ready?" she asked with a warm smile. Aliyah nodded excitedly. Everyone began singing the birthday song together. The voices were loud, cheerful, and full of joy. Aliyah closed her eyes to make a wish. For a moment, everything around her felt magical. Then she blew out the candles. Everyone clapped. Her friends cheered. Her little cousin jumped up and down in excitement. "Cut the cake! Cut the cake!" some of the kids shouted. Aliyah picked up the knife carefully with her mother's help. She made the first slice slowly. The sweet smell of chocolate filled the air. Children leaned closer to see. The first slice was always special. Traditionally, the birthday girl would take the first bite. But just as Aliyah lifted the slice of cake, something caught her attention. Across the park, near a bench under a tree, someone was sitting alone. Most people in the park were laughing and talking. But that person looked different. It was a young boy, maybe a little older than Aliyah. He was sitting quietly, watching the birthday party from a distance. Not moving, not talking, just looking. Aliyah paused. Her friends noticed. "What happened?" one of them asked. But Aliyah kept looking toward the boy. She noticed something else too. He didn't have anyone sitting with him. No balloons, no snacks, no family around. Just him, sitting there quietly. Her mother followed her gaze. She saw the boy too. "He might just be resting," her mother said gently. But Aliyah wasn't sure. Children often notice feelings that adults sometimes miss, and something about the way the boy was sitting made her curious. "Do you think he's alone?" Aliyah asked softly. Her mother looked again. "It looks like it," she replied. Aliyah looked down at the cake slice in her hand. Then she looked back at the boy, then back at the cake again. Her friends were starting to get impatient. "Can we eat now?" one of them asked jokingly, but Aliyah was thinking about something else. Her best friend Mia leaned closer and whispered, "What are you thinking?" Aliyah said something simple. "I think he wants cake too." Mia looked toward the bench. Oh, now she understood. Aliyah's mother noticed the thoughtful expression on her daughter's face. She had seen that look before. It usually meant Aliyah was about to do something kind. "What are you planning?" her mother asked gently. Aliyah hesitated for a moment. Then she said, "What if I share my first slice with him?" For a second, the group became quiet. Some kids looked surprised. It was her birthday after all. Usually, the birthday girl enjoyed the first slice. But Aliyah wasn't thinking about that. She was thinking about the boy sitting alone. Her mother smiled softly. "That would be very kind," she said. Aliyah nodded. Without overthinking it, she stepped away from the table, carefully holding the slice of cake. Her friends watched curiously. Some adults nearby also noticed. It's not every day a child walks away from her birthday cake before even tasting it. Aliyah walked slowly across the grass toward the bench. The boy hadn't noticed her yet. He was looking down at the ground, maybe lost in thought, maybe just feeling left out. When Aliyah got closer, she stopped a few steps away. "Hi," she said softly. The boy looked up, surprised. He didn't expect anyone to approach him. "Hi," he replied quietly. Aliyah smiled. "Today is my birthday." The boy blinked. "Oh, happy birthday," he said. "Thank you," she replied. Then she held out the slice of cake. "This is for you." The boy looked confused for a moment. "For me?" Aliyah nodded. Yes. There was a small silence between them. The boy looked at the cake, then at Aliyah, then back at the cake again. Why? He asked. Aliyah answered honestly. Because birthdays are better when people share. The boy's expression changed slightly. Something about that simple sentence touched him. People nearby had started watching the moment. Some parents smiled. One woman even whispered to another, "That's really sweet." The boy slowly reached out and took the cake. "Thank you," he said. Aliyah smiled brightly. "You're welcome." And right at that moment, something unexpected happened nearby. Someone had just started recording the moment on their phone, and no one there knew yet that this simple birthday gesture was about to become something much bigger, because within the next few minutes, something surprising was going to happen in that park, something that would make everyone stop and watch. And by the end of the day, people far beyond that park would be talking about Aliyah, without her even realizing it. The boy held the slice of cake carefully, almost like he wasn't used to receiving gifts from strangers. For a moment, he didn't eat it. He just looked at it. Then he looked at Aliyah again. "You really gave this to me?" he asked. Aliyah nodded. "Yes, it's my favorite cake." The boy smiled slightly, a small shy smile that hadn't been on his face earlier. Nearby, a few people were now clearly watching the moment. Not because anything dramatic was happening, but because kindness like this naturally pulls attention. The woman who had started recording earlier adjusted her phone slightly, making sure the scene was visible. Aliyah's friends stood near the table whispering to each other. "I think that was her first slice," one of them said. Another nodded. "Yeah, it was." Meanwhile, the boy finally took a small bite of the cake. His expression changed almost immediately. His eyes widened a little. "It's really good," he said. Aliyah laughed. "I told you." The moment felt simple, but something about it made people smile. Then Aliyah noticed something else. "You're here alone?" she asked gently. The boy looked down for a second. "Yeah," he said quietly. Aliyah tilted her head slightly. "Where is your family?" The boy hesitated before answering. "My mom is working today," he said. "She works very long hours." He paused. "And we just moved here last week." Now Aliyah understood. Being new somewhere can feel lonely, especially in a place where everyone else seems to already have friends. "I'm Aliyah," she said. "I'm Daniel." They shook hands awkwardly like kids sometimes do. Aliyah's mother watched from the picnic table. She could see that the conversation was going well. But she also noticed something else. More people were starting to notice what was happening. A few teenagers walking through the park had stopped. A father pushing a stroller slowed down to watch, and the woman recording the video was still filming. She had a feeling this moment was special. Meanwhile, back at the table, one of Aliyah's friends suddenly had an idea. "Wait," Mia said. "Why don't we invite him to the party?" The kids looked at each other. That actually sounded like a good idea. Aliyah, meanwhile, was already thinking the same thing. "You should come sit with us," she told Daniel. He looked surprised. "Really?" "Yeah," she said. "We have a lot of cake." Daniel looked toward the picnic table where the decorations and balloons were. He seemed unsure. "Are you sure it's okay?" Aliyah smiled confidently. "It's my birthday, so I decide." Daniel laughed a little at that. And for the first time since anyone had seen him that day, he looked happy. They started walking back toward the party together. People nearby noticed and smiled. It was a simple thing, but it was the kind of moment that reminds people of how kindness spreads. When they reached the table, the kids welcomed Daniel. Someone handed him a balloon. Another kid offered him a juice box. Within seconds, he was no longer the boy sitting alone on the bench. He was part of the group, and that's when something unexpected happened again. The woman recording the video quietly spoke to another person nearby. "I'm posting this," she said. "This is too beautiful not to share." She uploaded the video to social media. At first, it was just a simple post, a short clip of a girl sharing her birthday cake with a boy sitting alone in the park. But within minutes, something surprising started happening. People began reacting to the video. Likes started appearing, then comments, then shares. Meanwhile, in the park, the party continued as if nothing unusual was happening. Kids laughed. They played games. They ran around chasing balloons. Aliyah and Daniel were now sitting together, eating cake and talking like they had known each other longer than just a few minutes. But somewhere on the internet, the video was beginning to spread faster than anyone expected. A few hundred views turned into thousands, and those thousands were quickly growing. Because people online were connecting with the moment. They saw something real, something pure, Something simple but powerful, a child choosing kindness without thinking twice. Back in the park, Aaliyah's mother noticed a notification on her phone. Someone had tagged her in a video. She opened it, and her eyes widened slightly. It was the video, the moment when Aaliyah had given Daniel the cake. Already many people were watching it. "That's happening fast," she whispered to herself. But she had no idea just how fast it would grow, because by the end of the day, the video would reach thousands of people. And by the next morning, something even more surprising would happen. Something that would completely change Aaliyah's birthday story. Something no one in that park could have predicted. Not Aaliyah, not Daniel, not even the person who recorded the video. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the beginning of something much bigger. And the next day, the entire community was about to prove it. The next morning started like any other normal day. At least that's what Aaliyah thought. She woke up, got ready for school, and talked excitedly about her birthday party from the day before. She didn't know that something incredible had happened overnight. While she was sleeping, the video had spread across social media. Thousands of people had watched it. Then tens of thousands, people were sharing it everywhere. Many of them were leaving comments like, "This restored my faith in kindness. This little girl has such a big heart. The world needs more kids like her." By morning, the video had already reached far beyond their small neighborhood. Local community groups had shared it. Parents had shared it. Teachers had shared it. And eventually, someone from a local news page shared the video too. That's when it really started gaining attention. But inside Aaliyah's house, everything still felt normal. Her mother smiled while making breakfast. But she was checking her phone more than usual. Notifications kept appearing. Messages, shares, comments, even a few interview requests, Aaliyah noticed. "Why is your phone making so many sounds?" she asked. Her mother laughed softly. "I'll tell you later," she said. "Right now, let's get you to school." When they arrived near the school, something felt different. There were more people outside than usual. Parents were standing near the gate. A few teachers were talking together. And something else caught Aaliyah's attention. There were cameras, not huge ones like on TV shows, but small ones held by people who looked like reporters or content creators. Aaliyah blinked in confusion. "Mom, what's happening?" Her mother smiled. "Well," she said gently, "remember yesterday when you shared your cake?" Aaliyah nodded. "Yes, someone recorded it," her mother said. "And a lot of people saw it." Aaliyah looked surprised. "A lot?" Her mother nodded. "Yes, a lot." Just then, the school principal walked toward them. He had a big smile on his face. "Good morning, Aaliyah," he said warmly. "Happy belated birthday." "Thank you," Aaliyah replied shyly. The principal looked toward the small crowd gathered nearby. Then back at Aaliyah. "You did something very special yesterday," he said. Aaliyah looked a little confused. "I just shared my cake." The principal nodded. "Exactly. Sometimes adults understand something that children do naturally. Kindness." Soon, a few students began whispering. "That's her. I saw the video. She's the girl from the park." Aaliyah's eyes widened. Now she was starting to realize what had happened. Meanwhile, someone in the crowd spoke up. "Can we show you something?" A woman stepped forward holding her phone. She opened the video and showed it to Aaliyah. It was the moment from the park. The moment she walked up to Daniel. The moment she handed him the cake. And the moment he smiled. But what surprised Aaliyah the most was the number of views. It was huge, way more than she had ever imagined. People nearby started clapping softly, not loudly, not dramatically, just warmly, because they weren't clapping for fame. They were clapping for kindness. But the surprises weren't over yet. The school principal turned and signaled to someone behind him. And suddenly, something amazing happened. A group of people walked forward carrying boxes. Big boxes, colorful boxes. Aaliyah looked confused again. "What's that?" The principal smiled. "Well," he said, "after people saw your video, many wanted to do something kind too." The boxes were opened. Inside them were cakes. Lots of cakes. Some were small. Some were big. Some had decorations. Some had simple frosting. But they all had one thing in common. They were meant to be shared. A teacher explained. "People in the community sent these so we can share them with children who might not get birthday cakes." Aaliyah's eyes lit up. "Really?" "Yes," the teacher said. "And it all started because of you." Aaliyah looked around the crowd, then at the cakes, then back at her mother. She didn't fully understand how one small action had led to all this, but she did understand something important. Sharing makes people happy, and happiness spreads. Just then, someone else walked into the schoolyard. Aaliyah immediately recognized him. "Daniel!" He waved shyly. Daniel had come with his mother. She had seen the video too. She walked over and spoke to Aaliyah's mom. "I just wanted to say thank you," she said. "You made my son feel welcome in a new place." Aaliyah smiled at Daniel. "Are you coming to school here now?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "Yeah." "That's awesome," Aaliyah said. And just like that, a new friendship had begun. Meanwhile, someone in the crowd continued recording the moment, because now the story had become even bigger. A video about kindness was now turning into a real-life chain of kindness. And later that week, something even more amazing happened. The community organized a small event in the park. The same park where everything started. People came with food, flowers, balloons, and cakes. Lots of cakes, not for a party, but for sharing. Parents told their kids the story. Teachers talked about it in classrooms, and neighbors who had never met before were now talking and smiling together, all because one little girl decided to share her first slice of cake. At the center of it all stood Aaliyah, still the same girl, still smiling the same way, still not fully understanding why everyone was talking about her. But everyone else understood. Sometimes, the biggest stories start with the smallest choices. And sometimes, one act of kindness can inspire an entire community. And that's exactly what happened. Because on that birthday, a little girl didn't just share cake. She shared something much bigger, kindness, and the world noticed.